Hi Aries, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net, and I'm here doing a monthly reading for March 2017. I'm using the Anna K Tarot and the Fairy Tarot today. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me. There's still I did 2017 overview readings, so if you're interested in those are still up. And I'll leave them up too. Okay, so let's get into the reading. So at the bottom of the deck of the Anna K Tarot is the Four of Pentacles. And at the bottom of the Fairy Tarot, we have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is knights issue change. They're a lot of energy of whatever suit they're in. So this is emotion. So something comes in and really changes your emotions. This is often an offering of some sort. It can definitely be a new relationship or a different kind of milestone or different. So if you're single, you could start dating someone. If you're dating someone, you could be exclusive. If you're exclusive, you could get engaged, that type of any sort of step up, a big anniversary or something like that. But some sort of offering coming in. It could be a new job, something that makes you happier, feel better. You're emotionally invested in it or attached to it. Now, paired with the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles is a card about, and this is my favorite depiction in this deck of this card because I think it so beautifully illustrates kind of what's going on with this card. So you can see that this guy is hovering and hoarding all of his stuff, his things. And he's literally built a wall. I mean, he hasn't literally built it, but there's literally a wall between himself and what looks like his family. And his family's, huddled on the outside, feeling shut out. And he's just so focused on his stuff. So for me, I focus mostly on the wall. It's a card of boundaries. And so when you do have, say, this knight is a new relationship, and relationships come in many kinds. There's, of course, romantic, there's work, there's friendships, any sort of relationship where you have to deal with other people. There need to be boundaries. But sometimes the boundaries can become way too strong, or sometimes they're not enough, and maybe this isn't his family, and if there wasn't a wall here and he wasn't really protecting his thing, someone would just come along and take it. So there has to be some sort of balance. So when this card comes up, just start thinking about it's actually, I just happened to notice you have the Three of Cups and then another Knight of Cups coming in. So it does definitely point to some relationships. So just think about, in relationships, do you have too many restrictions against the other person, or not enough? Do you tend to feel like you kind of get walked on? And that would be something to really think about and try to define what you will and will not tolerate, and know when to stand your ground and when you may need to be a little more flexible. So I did just a few groups of cards to see what would come up. Fire for my fire sign, Aries. And look at that, I love when that happens. Two Kings of Swords at the bottom. Okay, so what I'm seeing, that for some of you, this Knight of Cups is going to bring about some anxiety because so the Six of Swords is all about going from rough waters to smooth waters. So you're consciously leaving something that was mentally stressful, emotionally stressful. We do bring up emotions in this card because it does have water, even though it's a sword card. And you can see that the water is rough here, but smooth here. The sun is breaking through um, the the clouds ever so slightly, and actively removing yourself from a situation. So this could have been a situation a long, long time ago, but this is on your mind with this new offer coming in. And it's really causing you, and I think there was definitely some conflict and strife in a previous relationship that you're still a little bit, maybe you have a little bit of a visceral reaction, or you're still working through, I don't want to get back in a relationship if it's just going to turn bad. So warning against sort of that self-limiting, self-fulfilling prophecy, but at the same time, you do really need to look at it. What were my boundaries? Did I pay attention to red flags? And go within and say, what wisdom did I learn from that past situation? And you can only bring so much on this raft as you move into a better situation. So make sure that the baggage you're carrying is that what you're carrying is wisdom and not negative, resentful, unresolved baggage. So it's definitely time to examine those things, to go within what's the wisdom I can gain, and let's carry that forward and leave the rest behind. And the Three of Springs is then, okay, I'm really going to look at the big picture here. I'm going to go within, but then I'm going to apply the hermit energy of going within, figuring out what the wisdom from those past experiences have been, and really look at the big picture. Where am I going? What do I want? What are my boundaries, like we were talking about before? And where confidence comes from is that if you start dating someone, for example, and they show you a red flag, you get out. It doesn't mean a knee-jerk reaction and just any little thing, the person can't win. But if you see a true, if they snap at you over something really, really small, what are they going to do when it's something bigger that they don't like? So if you start seeing those types of red flags, get out. If they're having a hard time dealing with minor things, well, okay, you're going to build a life with someone that can't deal with someone cutting in front of them driving, but what happens when something really bad happens? How are they going to deal with it then? You know what I'm saying? So, but this is more of a proactive card. So you're going to figure out what you will not tolerate and start keeping that in mind as you're moving forward. I'm not reading what Doreen says. Let's see. Plan your next steps with an eye on the long term. Have patience. There are more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. Good things to come. So your past relationships won't predict your future relationships as long as you're gaining the wisdom of having gone through those past relationships. This is a work card as well. These two, wands can be work. This could also speak of a work situation. Now then you come down here to these two Knight of Swords. It's fun to look at the different depictions in each card. So this guy's playing chess. So he's very analytical. He's always thinking if you're a good chess player, I'm not, you're always thinking, what are your next 5 moves going to be, and what are your opponent's likely next few moves to be, and such like that. And here's a very different depiction. But this king, he goes on facts, he goes on data. He doesn't allow his emotions to sway him. So he doesn't tend to make knee-jerk reactions. He doesn't tend to, allow codependency or emotional manipulation or anything like that. He's going to look at the facts. So if the fact is Um, your girlfriend's always saying that, she puts you first, but then she goes out with her friends after work more often than not, and you're like waiting around for her. Well, the energy of the King of Swords is he's going to be like, regardless of what she says, the fact is she isn't here spending time with me. She's out with her friends all the time. So that he's not going to look at the fact that she comes home and says she's sorry and whatever. In business, really, it was really funny. Okay, so I worked at this place where there were certain employees that were out all the time. I mean, like a couple times a week. It was really like, I don't know how that's even possible, but um, so I knew this coworker who would just kept track of it because it was like, and I thought for sure this one person was out way more than this other person. And when we looked at after like several months of data, um, we looked back over like 3 or 4 months, and actually one person was out significantly more than, I mean, I didn't actually do any statistical analysis, but was out quite a bit more than the person that I thought was out all the time. So the point is, you got to really look at the facts, and because sometimes your perception can fool you. But this is so you have this offer coming in, this emotional offer coming in, which is wonderful. And it just says to balance this with being thoughtful and making sure that it's not all emotion, but that you clearly are bringing your head into the situation at all. So it's a nice balance, really. Let's read what Doreen says about this King of Swords. Knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, unemotional. Get advice from someone professional and objective. Public speaking, unemotional relationships. So I don't think the king can't have a good emotional connection. I don't think that that's his go-to way of processing and approaching things. It doesn't mean, to me, this isn't a heartless person. I grew up with all air signs, so I don't, and they can be very loving people, but they approach things with the mind first, like a lawyer. This is often a lawyer. So you guys could be looking at a lawyer. You could have gone through a divorce, and this is still what you're sort of dealing with, the residual coming into this month. So definitely, if you're going through any sort of situation that involves signing any contracts, and lawyers, get a lawyer. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice, except if there's anything legal, get a lawyer. Don't try to do it yourself, or at minimum, get at least a consult before you do anything. And it would be like trying to go through a divorce and handling it yourself and being like, oh, I'm just going to give them the house, or I'm just going to do this because all I want is the kids. And you got to talk to a lawyer, because it's not really the way it works. And you could really be screwing yourself and your kids over by not understanding how the whole process works. Sorry, I'm going off on a few different tangents, but I just want to get in some of the different ways this could be playing out for people. So I guess I will leave it there. It looks like just a month for you guys to sort of prepare yourself. Time to sort through some experiences from the past and really realize just what you've gained from it, and try to let the rest of that go. And so you're able to move forward with some confidence and be like, I can handle this. I got this. I know where I came from. I know where I want to go. And I just have to move forward and be clear about what I want and what my boundaries are, and allow things to unfold. And and enjoy it. I mean, this says falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, needing to stay grounded. And it's funny because look what's under that. We have the Page of Autumn, which is, I mean, the Princess of Autumn, which is the Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Very grounded energy. And I think that's actually what this King of Swords is going to do. He's going to, by balancing out emotions with your head, with heart and head, you know, you will stay more grounded. That's a way to stay grounded. Okay. Well, thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a really wonderful March. Take care.